Thank you for watching On Call for All Kids. Today we're talking about human trafficking. We'll discuss the prevalence of human trafficking in the United States and Florida, who is at highest risk and the most common recruitment methods, and signs of human trafficking to look for in your kids and teens. I am joined by two experts on this topic, Dr. Lacy Chavis. She is a pediatric psychologist, and Rebekah Diaz. She is a pediatric social worker here at Johns Hopkins All Children's Hospital. Thank you both so much for joining us on this kind of heavy topic, but yet a very important one to discuss.
Thanks for having us. We're excited to be here.
Yes, Ashley, thank you. This is such an important topic.
Yeah, it really is. And Rebekah, let's start with you. What is human trafficking and why is it such an important issue?
Yeah, so the formal definition of human trafficking is using force, fraud, or coercion to have people do things that are against their will. But in more simplistic terms, human trafficking is modern day slavery, where people are forced to work in different industries like agriculture, in restaurants, bars, private homes, and then obviously the commercial sex industry. So in 2019, there were 11,500 cases reported in the United States, with 2,582 of those victims identified as minors. Why it's important for us in Florida to talk about it so much is because we are the third highest state in the country. We have some of the highest rates, right behind California and Texas. So specifically here in our state, there were a total of 896 cases that were identified, with 172 of those victims identified as minors. And this is an upwards trend from 2018. So we're seeing that it continues to be a prevalent issue here in the States.
Well, Rebekah, who are the victims here? Who is the most common person that is affected by this? And what are their recruitment methods?
Yeah, so really anybody is a potential victim. People of all races, gender, nationality, age, socioeconomic background are recruited and victims of human trafficking. There are some populations that are a little bit more vulnerable, like undocumented immigrants, runaway teenagers, and those just really struggling with their identity and trying to find a sense of belonging and looking for love and affection. Traffickers most often recruit their victims, for lack of a better words, after courting them. So they're promised really exciting jobs, really exciting educational opportunities, a safe place to live. And once that trafficker has established a solid relationship with that victim, the victim now trusts them and kind of then flips the script and says, well, if you love me, you'll do this for me. Or because I gave you this, you need to do this for me. And then as far as specific recruitment methods, traffickers are usually using social media platforms to recruit their victims, and then in person at local hangout spots like the movies, the mall, parks, and things like that.
So, Rebekah, what do parents need to know? What kind of telltale signs or type of behaviors, red flags, should parents be looking out for?
Yeah, so any change in a major friend group would potentially be a red flag. Any increased absences from school, any other changes in daily routine, especially if they're spending a lot of time outside of the home that they normally wouldn't, at weird hours of the night, or periods of running away would also be a red flag. Any kind of romantic relationship with a large age gap, an increase of material goods that there's not really a monetary explanation for, like cell phones, accessories, clothes. And kind of to go along with that is if their hair is done, their makeup is done, their nails are done, that the parent didn't facilitate those appointments and the child wouldn't have the money to pay for those things. Having unexplained amounts of cash, nude tattoos, multiple social media accounts, especially if there's sexually explicit content on there, and fake IDs as well.
Wow, heavy stuff, Rebekah. Thank you so much. Dr. Chavis, I want to bring you into the conversation. What can parents do to really stay vigilant and keep their kids safe?
I think one of the most important things is parents having frequent conversations and discussions with their children about dangers of trafficking, how they're being recruited, and just being very vigilant that way and keeping that open dialogue. Secondly, social media, we know, is such an integrated part of our lives now, and going younger and younger. And so you want to be very careful as a parent that you're monitoring those social media accounts and looking at apps and games that your children are purchasing or playing on your phone. They may seem very innocent, but a lot of them actually have chat features, and that's how they're able to kind of lure younger children in, is through those chats. You want to be really insistent on meeting friends and acquaintances and their parents, especially if you're dropping them off at somebody else's house. You want to have a physical contact with those people, and thinking about extracurricular activities. If you're dropping your child off, especially like teenagers, it's not so common for parents to kind of sit and watch a soccer practice or a baseball practice. So you want to make sure that there is a responsible and safe adult that can provide support and guidance if you are not physically present to monitor your child.
What kind of resources are available if we think our child has become a victim or our family has been affected by this?
And sadly, there are a lot of families that are affected, right? So the first thing, if you suspect that someone is being trafficked, or is in immediate danger, you want to call 911. Your local law enforcement agency can get you in touch with a human trafficking task force and get you started on the right path. Additionally, you can seek out your pediatrician or local emergency room for a physical examination. Nationally, the National Human Trafficking Hotline is 1-888-373-7888. A very important number to just kind of keep available. And then locally, we have the Selah Freedom and the Florida Dream Center, which both offer resources, rehabilitation, therapy, and more for families that have been victims.
Well, Dr. Chavis, thank you so much for joining us today. There was a lot of great information shared today. Not exactly an easy topic to discuss, but a very important one to discuss.
Thank you, Ashley.
And Rebekah, thank you so much as well.
Thank you.
And thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget, you can also check out our website. It's HopkinsAllChildren's.org/newsroom. You'll find a lot of other timely topics in pediatric healthcare and other resources here at our hospital. We'll see you next week.